Hey everyone, I'm gonna wait for some of y'all to come on. And as soon as you come on, we can start the conversation. But I'm gonna keep it really real today. I know some of y'all probably won't like what I gotta say, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it really real. Let me just kind of wait until some of y'all come in the room. Let me also check to see that as I have um shared this stuff on my page. I don't know if it actually came up on my personal page, which is fine. Amina, hey girl. Hey Dante. Hey Doreen. I don't think I've seen you here before. My name is Zamara Perry, and I want to welcome you to our live show. I'm actually really proud of myself today because I'm usually super late, and today I'm only kind of late. So I'm proud of myself. Hey, Wendy. So I thought it was time for us to have this conversation. I feel like we've had it a couple of times, which is, hey, Bridget. Some of us claim we want a good woman. Oh my God, I want a good woman. Now over here, Tanya is a good woman. Okay, she's a good woman. Okay, and her wife locked her down because she was a good woman, right? Hey, Kina, it's good to see you. So a lot of folks say, oh, I want a good woman. I want a relationship. I can't find somebody. And they sit around and blame it on the women that are out there. They're like, oh, these women, they suck. I get a lot of people who say that, the other person is the problem. Hey, Charlene. Hey, Donna. A lot of folks say, oh, the other person is the problem. It's not me. I can't possibly be the problem. And so I thought we need to have this conversation again. We may have had it before, but not quite like this. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why some of y'all who claim you want to be in relationships cannot find a quality woman. Right. And, before I get to that point, I just want to, find out from you all, what do you think is the problem? Because this is a dialogue. It's a 2-way conversation. Tanya's like, yep. Ebony certainly locked me down. Donna says she thinks it's a sensational topic, but it's not a sensational topic in that it's like, just to be dramatic, but literally, I get letters from women all the time who say to me, I have a hard time finding a good woman. And if I'm hearing folks tell me that, and what their excuses and their reasons is that the other person is the problem, it makes me think that maybe there's more to it than just, crappy women are out there. I just feel like there are a lot of good women out there. Hey, London. Hey, it's good to see you. Hey, Coffee. So I would love to hear your thoughts, ladies. Kai, hey, girl. And let me just wish you a very belated happy 40th, making it 40 look really good, girl. 40 and fine. Kai, I would love to hear your thoughts. Why is it that we have a hard time finding quality women? Like, what's the problem? What's going on? I asked the question because I want to hear your thoughts. I have my opinion and I'm going to share them with you, but I would love to hear your feedback. What is the problem? Because women talk about stuff that, all right, Kimberly, you said something real good right there, girl. You said they need to be able to define a good woman. That is an excellent, excellent point. I love that. And you're right. A lot of us say, I want a good woman, and we wouldn't even recognize her if we saw her. We don't know what a good woman is. Some of us don't know. Oh, girl, Kai, I'm sorry. You said I had to put your age out there, but you seem the other day when you were talking about your birthday, you were all like, yeah, I've reached XYZ age and I'm so excited about being a certain age. So, I just, my bad. But you Aries are, you want folks to know your age. So you can be like, I look so good for my age. Billie Jean says she thinks it's location for her. I have no idea where to stick them out. Okay, that's a fair question, Billie Jean. And I'm going to tell you this. I share stories of couples who meet every single place, like any place you can think of. you will meet somebody. I actually have the list, and I probably should share it. I did a blog post a couple years ago, and literally it was a list of 10 places where you can meet women. And they were just everyday places. And what happened is I linked to stories of couples who had been together for a while. They met, there are tons of places to meet people, Billie Jean. But maybe part of it is, and I'm going to get to this, is that perhaps, I'm not saying location isn't a challenge, but perhaps you're not coming off as available. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. Ira, thank you so much. I got your email and I completely forgot to respond, but thank you for emailing me. I appreciate it. She says some women are thirsty and don't take time to see who she is. That's a good point as well. Donna says everyone has a different opinion of what a good woman is. Absolutely. But I think good woman qualities are universal, regardless of what that means. There's some people who have an idea that says a good woman has to do all these 15 things, but overall a good woman is going to be someone who is trustworthy, who is reliable, who treats you well overall. So those are some things that are universal regardless of what you think a good woman is. But some women are good and we can't recognize them because we only focus on the superficial stuff, right? Kai says some people know what they want, but they aren't ready for it. Going through that right now. Okay, I love that. Thank you. Kai, I'm just reading your comments now. So Donna says, oh yeah, Donna also has an issue with the location as well. Charlene says, I'm shy, but sometimes I think I expect too much trying to change. You can change the shyness a little bit, Charlene, but I don't think you should change your expectations. I think you need to verbalize them. So some of us, and I do the same thing, because I feel like I would do X, Y, Z, so I expect other people to do that. Other people's values are not your values. And so things that you expect other people to do, if you don't verbally say, this is what I need to feel loved and appreciated in a relationship, you can't expect someone to just automatically give that to you, right? So good point. Coffee says maybe you're walking too fast for her to catch up and talk to you. Okay, that's another thing too. So Keena says, I feel I am a quality woman. There's always room for improvement. I will continue building better character until that woman finds me. All right. Kimberly says, oh yes, the resting bitch face or appearing nonchalant can keep us from being noticed in some places. Yeah, there is this hilarious meme that's going around where somebody said, the meme says something like, you look so unapproachable. And then the other person who's unapproachable is like, well, but here you are. So I get that sometimes people say that I may look unapproachable, but folks always trying to talk to me. And I'm like trying to look unapproachable, but people are still trying to talk to me. So I'm like, I guess I'm not that unapproachable. So even if you have a resting bitch face, there is going to be something about you that's going to pique someone's interest, right? So Africa says, while I do believe we all have the right to have our standards and what we like, I believe these days quality good women are overlooked simply because we spend so much time focusing on superficial foolishness. Yes, girl, I agree. Amina, who has been with her wife, what has it been, like 5, 6, I don't remember. It's a while. She says, first ask yourself, am I a good woman? Amina, girl, you sitting there talking about what I'm getting ready to talk about, because that may be your issue. If your answer is yes, then ask yourself, am I ready for a good woman? What do I need to be ready? Yes, girl, absolutely. If I could like that 5,000 times, and I see over here, Dantaire is agreeing with you 100%. Yes, girl, yes. That is one of the things I'm getting ready to talk about. Kirsten says this woman knows nothing, but maybe that works for her. Some of the things she says are not supportive at all unless you fit into her cookie cutter box. Oh, you're talking about me, Kirsten. Are you saying that I don't know anything, but I'm full of it? Okay, well, girl, I'm sorry. We don't have to agree. But, I appreciate you being on and talking to me. Appreciate it. Giving me your feedback. Let me just say this, ladies. Before we go any further, I'm going to encourage you to please share this live. Please go ahead and give me a reaction, an emoji, something, because that helps it get out to more people. If you're part of a community, a Facebook group, please share there. Please share it on your own personal page. I appreciate it. All right, ladies. And also, I want to remind you that we have a private membership, and the private membership is a safe space. One of the things that we are very big on and we do not compromise on in the group is that we must communicate with each other with respect. That is because some of the issues that I would say that we have in other groups or elsewhere is that we haven't learned how to communicate our differences with other people. So we make sure in the group to keep it safe. It's safe for everyone, despite what you're into. Well, every Black same gender loving woman, not every random person. So we make sure we talk to each other with respect. Another thing that's great about the group is that we have a monthly drawing where you can win a vacation for two. Last month we gave away a vacation to Mexico. Congratulations to Cynthia for winning. We also have a fun monthly dating meetup in our private group. We have access to monthly group coaching with McEllie. She is a spiritual life coach. We have a monthly happy hour every first Friday where we get together, bring our favorite drinks, and we talk. And then we offer relationship ebooks every year. And we have special guests. For example, this Friday, we're going to be having on a psychotherapist who's going to be talking with us about love addiction. And the reason why we're bringing her on is because we don't just talk about, there's some things that you can't really go into deeply on a public Facebook page. This is a public page. And so we invite guests on who are willing to have these deeper conversations with our members. And if they can't make it to the live event, then they're able to rewatch it in our group, in our private video library. So these are all the benefits of joining our private group. We'd love to see you in the group. Please go ahead and go to community.blacklesbianlovelab and I'll be more than happy to welcome you in the group. All right, so let me get to the point. Number one, I think, like I said, some of you guys mentioned it, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go over what I think are some reasons why people cannot find a good quality woman. You don't know what you want. Some of us do not know what we want. And there's actually nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want. Sometimes just acknowledging, I don't really know where I want to go. Like, and I just feel like if you don't know what you want, why would you try to bring someone else along that journey? Why would you try to bring along somebody for that kind of confusion? That's not fair. So if you can't, like literally, if you do not know what kind of life you want, how you want to feel, what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, you really can't bring along somebody because you don't know if that person is compatible with you. So part of the lack of compatibility is having like no clue if this person is worth your time. So a lot of the things that people do, and I saw this once, somebody wrote in and she said, I met this woman on Facebook. We have a great connection. I think she understands me because we are in a similar position, like we both have kids or whatever. And I feel like this woman understands me. This woman wants to speed things. I want to speed things up, but the other woman wants to slow things down. And she said the reason why she wanted to ask this woman to be her girlfriend, someone who she had never met, who I guess they had a couple of Facebook conversations, is because she didn't want other women to take up this woman's time. So basically she's operating from a defensive mode where I gotta lock this person down quickly, not because I've taken the time to really try to get to know this person. She's trying to rush it into something more because she's afraid that someone else is going to capture this woman's interest. That doesn't even make any sense to me. But I mean, I've done it, so I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I haven't been in a situation where I was like, oh, I think this person is great, so let me try to figure out a way to make sure that I have their time and not anyone else. But you still haven't figured out, like literally, is this the person that I want to go along on my journey with me? Do I even know what I want? Because it sounded to me like she was operating from fear or lack, or she just didn't want, like she felt like this person was good enough and did not want to like have anyone else, like I said, sneak in and take this woman's time. So what happens too is folks end up just wanting entertainment, and entertainment is everywhere. But if you want a real relationship, you're going to have to put the entertainment women to the side. I'm serious. Some folks say they want real relationships, but they're wasting a lot of time on counterfeits, situationships, and drama. And, you know, those things are great for like when you are young and you really don't know what you want. But when you know what you want, you don't have time for that. Because when you're playing games, I mean, grown women don't play games. Good quality women, they don't play games. They don't have time for that. What would be the point? If you're spending a lot of time playing games, looking for entertainment, then a good woman is going to notice that. Good women have a tendency to be very clear about who they are and what they want. And so when they are with somebody or they notice somebody playing the games, then they're just like, you know what, forget it. I don't want to spend time with that person. The thing that we don't understand is that people watch us when we are not paying attention. Just because we're not paying attention to ourselves and our actions does not mean other people aren't. Like, people watching and observing other people is a really great skill to have. And so if you are not paying attention to your own self, best believe there are other people out there who are paying attention to you. They're watching your every move. So if you're sitting there coming to me telling me, oh, I can't find a good woman, maybe that's another reason why. All right. So let me pause and see what some of the comments are. Oh, Kimberly loves the happy hour. All right. All right. So, all right, let's see. Lan says she demands respect. And I have a hard time with the word demand, only because I feel like respect is not something you demand, it's something that you earn. So that's my feeling about that. I feel like sometimes when we demand things from our partners, you don't ultimately get what you want, because what you want is somebody who will naturally give you something. So if you naturally treat yourself with respect and naturally don't compromise about certain things, that's what you get. If that person can't handle that, if they can't give you what you want, then basically what you're going to do is end up like letting that person go, because that person is not congruent with who you are as a person, which again, when you know who you are, then you attract that person who can see who you are. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. So Coffee, I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying you don't know what you want? Coffee says private eyes, they're watching your every move. Erica, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Or you command respect, Donna. Yes, I agree. And so does Lon. Oh, thank you for sharing, ladies. I appreciate it a lot. Hey, Erica Latrice, thank you for sharing, honey. I appreciate it. Okay, so here's the other number 2 reason why I think people have a very hard time finding a quality woman, not just any warm body, right? And I'm not trying to say that, and I say any warm body, and I mean that in the most respectful of ways, because not every person is going to be your match. All right. Sometimes we grab somebody and that person is just not your match. Right. And it's not that that person is a bad person. It's not that they're not great. They're just not great or right for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. So the number 2 reason is that we don't value ourselves. Seriously. And I know you may think, and some of us do, and we still can't find the right person, but I'm just sharing the top 3 reasons. There are other reasons why sometimes we can't meet the person, a quality woman. But The second reason is we don't value ourselves, okay? We don't believe that we have something to offer. And even though people tell me I value myself, your behavior betrays you, your words betray you, honestly. And I've been there where I've felt like, oh, I look really good on the outside. I keep myself in shape. I do XYZ. But it's more than that, okay? We don't take care of ourselves. And when you don't take care of yourselves, that is obvious, all right? A woman who takes care of herself, it is very, very obvious. Hey, Angela. I think I'm starting to get the pronunciation of your your name properly. Hey, Kim. And when I say that, I mean there are things that we have to do, that we should do as grown women to upgrade who we are, upgrade what we accept, upgrade how we react, our behaviors. So taking care of yourself means that you're not wasting a lot of time doing things that don't prepare you for just life in general, prepare you for life improvement, prepare you for a great relationship. And we spend a lot of time listening to folks who don't know what it takes to have a healthy relationship, okay? We don't invest in our minds, our bodies, our spirit. And, when you don't invest in yourself, you are telling folks that you are not worthy. And that is it's a very sad and unfortunate thing. But like I said, women who make investments in, Kim mentioned therapy. Some of us, there's this stigma that says therapy means that you're broken or something's wrong with you or it's a reason to be ashamed, or we say it's a money thing. But you have to understand there are certain things that you have to invest in so that you can have a better future. So for me, I've always invested in therapy or workshops or books or whatever, because what I'm doing isn't working. If something isn't working, then I need to go to someone who is a pro, who has done better than me, or who has maybe some tips where I can actually talk to that person and learn how to improve. And sometimes it's worth it. Like maybe I don't spend the extra money on shoes. Like I love to shop and I love home decor, but maybe I don't spend the extra money on home decor. Maybe I don't go out to the movies, because in the long run, it's more important for me to invest in myself. Hey, Carly girl, thank you so much for your support. So N.A. Ken says, my partner and I just broke up because their severe depression was draining me and bringing me down. And I still really love them, but I feel I deserve someone better. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know your situation at all, but I think it is very brave of you to say, this isn't serving me. This is not a relationship where I feel that I'm at my best. Depression is a very difficult thing to deal with. I've struggled with it at times, and I was telling my partner that one of the things that I'd like to do is to make sure that as I suffer more from like a seasonal depression. So when it's cold, it's really difficult for me to like not be in a funk. So I told her we need to be someplace warm next year. That's just what needs to happen. But yeah, if there is a problem with your partner, that you have depression, I've shared an article on here before of a woman who her and her partner worked through the depression together. So here's the thing, regardless of how depressed you are, and I'm not a clinically depressed person, so I've never had medication or needed medication for it. But you're still needing to figure out, how am I going to handle this? This is why I say we need to invest in ourselves. If something is not working for you, then seek help, seek guidance. You are ultimately responsible for your behavior, and how you behave is going to impact your relationship. If you care about your partner and you realize, okay, this depression thing is an ongoing thing that I have not found a solution for, or maybe you haven't even thought about, maybe you haven't dedicated yourself to finding the solution, you got to realize that that is going to have a negative impact on your relationship. And like I said, this is again maybe somebody who's just not willing to invest in self-care and mental health care. And I don't know what's in people's pocketbooks. That's not my place. But like I said, there is generally getting help is one way to improve. You can improve depression. There are folks who they take the medication and then it affects their sex drive, or they can't sleep, or things are funky. But then you work with a therapist to find what is best for you. So that's one of my second things, which is let's actually invest in ourselves. Because when you don't invest in yourself, then it's going to be hard. Like women, people, like I said, people are watching you. The things you do tells people what you value. If what you value most are some new shoes, then that is what a woman is going to see and watch and say, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with somebody who would rather let themselves, their self-care, fall by the wayside than actually put the time and effort into, like I said, self-improvement. So Carly says, if I felt like crap inside, I would get crap women in my life. That the better I felt, the better the women. Yep, absolutely. N.A. Ken is saying therapy is amazing. Yes, it is. Let me go ahead and I actually have no idea how to block someone while I'm talking. Hey, Tanya, it's good to see you. Hey, Janine. Coffee says, yeah, she says, my relationship ended because of my depression, but sometimes we don't realize we are in a dark spiral. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Sorrel, girl, we gonna go to the farmer's market, like, I think in a couple weeks. Yes, girl, I saw that there was something happening on Saturday, and I was like, I wonder if she's gonna go to that. So thank you for thinking about me, honey. I appreciate it. Kenyatta says, not being vain, but my struggle is that I am quality, and the femmes seek me, and they're not exactly on the same frequency as me. And Kenyatta, it's not about being vain to say this person is just not what I'm looking for. It's okay to say this is not what I'm looking for. And that's what makes you a very powerful person, is that you're able to recognize this woman is not the right person for me. And instead of me trying to make it work with somebody who is not right for me, then because you know what you want. And if that person is not it, don't waste their time. That's actually very unkind, is to waste time with somebody. There is someone I know, and she says that she always ends up being like the relationship fluffer. Like she'll date a woman and the woman won't really commit to her, but she basically prepares her for the woman that she's going to marry. Isn't that crazy? Have you ever had that experience where, you're dating somebody and that person won't marry you, but, a couple weeks after you break up, they've met their soulmate and they're like suddenly married or in love or whatever. And like I said, I understand how that happens because folks are in these superficial relationships. They have these superficial connections. And then when someone else comes along, and a lot of us don't understand it. Sometimes we look and we say, oh, I was prettier than the new girl or skinnier than the new girl. How come she's in love with that person? I'm going to tell you why, the third reason. All right. So let me just scroll down and see what some of the comments are. Yes. So Coffee says it's one of those things where you need to create tools for the relationship. Absolutely. Many of us just do not have the proper skills and tools. And I'm not going to sit here and try to generalize. And thank you, everyone who shared. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's on watching. At the end of this, I want to share a couple's story. They've been together for 10 years. And I want to share their story on here because I do believe in love. I do believe it's possible to have a quality, lasting relationship. It just requires more effort than some of us may be used to having. It's, like I said, it's not impossible. Please know that it's not impossible. So, Yep, Kenyatta says I'd rather be by myself before I give them the wrong impression. Absolutely. Tracy, hey girl, where you been at? You are late. But you know what it is, Tracy? You probably were like, oh, she gonna show up whenever. Cause I was pretty much on time today. I came on like 6:05 or something, which is not normal for me. But I'm glad to see you, girl. So Billie Jean says, as someone with depression, the best thing you can do with someone with depression is let them help themselves. Absolutely. You can cheer them along the way, but at the end of the day, it's on them. I lost my previous relationship because of my depression, but I've grown from it. Yes. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Stephanie. She says, I've been a lesbian for a very long time, and sometimes it feels like some femmes are in it as a last resort after the guys have repeatedly disappointed them. How after 30 to 40 years, 2 to 3 kids in a failed marriage decide, hey, I'm gay. I mean, sometimes that is what it is, Stephanie. I'm not going to lie. I know there's situations like that. And then there's some people who they became aware, or they got into a situation where they were able to actually be their true selves at a later time in life. So, you know, whether this person is genuinely a lesbian or whatever, that is for you to figure out. Hey, Shirley Lee's, good to see you. Thank you, Betty. I'm glad you appreciate it. Yes, Stephanie says you first got to be real with yourself before you try to be real and possibly waste other folks' time. Kenyatta says I ended a 9-year relationship 7 months ago because of my ex not feeling comfortable in her own skill. In her own skin. As a mental health therapist, I also struggled with her depression. However, she never would seek help. Yeah. And here's the thing folks don't understand. A lot of Black women are depressed. I'm going to tell you that for real. I'm not a therapist, so let me just say that. I'm not a therapist. I've worked with lots of therapists, but that doesn't make me a therapist at all. It just makes me an observant person who has some opinions that may be popular or unpopular. Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. We're all free. This, to me, using this forum is really an opportunity for us to talk about the issues that Black lesbians are dealing with in their relationships that folks do not want to talk about, right? They don't want to address it, and no one else is really addressing it, because people like to focus on just the happy times. You know, they like the cute pictures, but they don't know what's behind the cute pictures. So my goal in having this show on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is so we can talk about, let's be real, let's talk about what's really going on, okay, in our relationships. A lot of us are depressed, and we do not recognize it. Depression, and Kenyatta knows this, is more than just having the blues. It impacts all other parts of your life. And I think a lot of Black women are depressed, and we don't even recognize it. Our partners don't recognize it. So Sorrel says if we'd focus more on self instead of the other person, meaning I stopped trying to find a quality woman and become one. I did the work, and it wasn't easy work. Self-care is extremely important. I'm learning that. My partner she's a self-care mental health coach in Baltimore. Her services and tools that she offers is girl, are you over here doing a commercial on my live? All right, girl, do the commercial. I appreciate it. Actually, Sorrel, if you could inbox me, I would love to actually get your partner's information, because like I said, one of the things we offer as for those who are members of our group is we have these private sessions, private interviews with people who are experts. Like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I don't play around people's heads. I don't do that. That's not what I do. But what I do, I'm a journalist. I am a professional writer. I've been a writer for 15 years now? I guess so. 15, 16 years. And what I do is connect people. So if your partner is willing to talk to the women in our private group, I would love her contact information, because again, we're all about supporting each other. I am about supporting each other and providing tools so women can actually have healthier relationships down the road. So yes, girl, if you could give me your partner's info, that'd be great. Let's see here. What am I missing here? So Erica says, I'm preparing myself for being a better woman for whomever I end up with. I'm not looking, I'm bettering me, and I need to. Yes, girl. Yes, yes, yes. Girl, I'm just teasing with you, girl. Don't worry about it. I'm teasing you. Jennifer says, for me, the only way I can love someone else is I have to love myself first. If I don't take care of myself first, I will be no good to whoever I'm in a relationship with. And that's a really good point, Jennifer. You know, here's the thing. This is something that I've been talking about for years, the whole self-love thing. Some of us talk about the self-love, but we don't actually know how to actually do it. Because honestly, self-love is something that takes time. It takes practice. It takes basically a mental overhaul. Because I got to tell you, one of my things that I struggle with my partner, I struggle with this. And I'm going to get into the third reason why we sometimes have a hard time finding a quality partner. Okay. Is that we mistake doing for loving. Right? We think that if I work like a Hebrew slave for this person's love and approval and acceptance, then I'll be worthy of love. We really don't value, like I said, number two, we don't value ourselves because we keep thinking that we have to do something to earn someone's love and appreciation, right? So the self-love thing is tough. Someone has, like, you literally have to grow up in an environment where someone taught you what it looks like, because some of our behaviors are deeply ingrained from just watching the way that our parents treated each other, treated themselves, talked to each other. And so many of us, it's like, I can't believe you have to actually teach someone how to love themselves. So one of the things I really don't like is when women say, you just love yourself, because it's not that easy. It's not easy at all. It is a process. And I think what I want to do, I do want to have like a self-love class with members of the private group, because I think it is something that, it may sound silly, but it's actually something that we have to practice. We have to learn. And sometimes loving yourself means you have to tell the other person no. It means you have to pause. You're looking for a partner because you want a quality partner. And if you do not know what love looks like, you're not going to you're not going to find the right person. That's just a fact. You're going to find somebody who you may think this is good enough, or this person's just okay, or this person treats me a certain way, so that's enough. But it's more than that. It's really about, am I my best person with this person, right? And all that comes from you knowing, accepting, and loving yourself. So I kind of veered off on a little bit there, ladies, but I think you get what I'm saying. So Kenyatta says, we are doing self work every day. We have to be conscious to be able to work through our pain. It's hard, but necessary. Absolutely. Thank you, Sorrel. Coffee says, we need to express that it is not necessary to suffer in silence. Yes, girl. Yes. We also need to keep in mind that this is more than being vulnerable. So let me get to the third reason, Coffee, because I think you're getting to it. The third reason why we can't find a quality woman is we have a wall that is 10 feet tall. I don't feel like I need to go in on this, but I'm going to go in on this. We are not friendly sometimes. And not just friendly. We are not open, right? It is exhausting to feel like you have to work to get to know someone. It's really, really exhausting. And I know it because I've done it before, where I do the thing where I'm like, I'm approachable, but I won't open up. And when you are not open, it's really hard to make a connection through a locked door, right? So have you ever tried to get something out of a room, but the door was locked and you couldn't find the key? That's kind of how it is in relationships with somebody who is not open. Their hearts are not open. And a lot of us, our hearts aren't open because we've been hurt, we've been harmed, we've been damaged in the past. And so we've learned to disconnect from our emotional selves. And when you disconnect from your emotional self, it's very difficult for you to connect to someone else. Like I think I talked about this in an earlier live, that some of us are emotionally unavailable. So it's just a real thing. Like many of us are like most people, like pretty much everybody, you're attracted to somebody who is genuine, open, friendly, kind, who is willing, to share with you and get to know you and accept you for who you are. I know there are people who I meet them and I'm like, oh, from the get-go, I like this person. I don't know what it is. It's probably because this person is open and loving and kind. And some of us, like I said, we sit around and say, oh, my ex is now dating this person and this person's not as cute as I am or whatever. And we can't figure out. You ever have that situation where you see couples together and you're like, how are they together? They don't even look right together. But it's more than just the outward appearance, ladies. It's most people, all people, when you get into a relationship, let me take it back. Most people who are looking for a real, genuine, long-lasting relationship, they're looking for connection. They're looking for nurturing. They're looking for that emotional vulnerability. And if you're not willing to open yourself up, it's going to be very difficult for that person to connect with you. A quality woman does not want to be tearing down walls because she already knows that's a losing game. A quality woman does not want to be struggling to connect with you because that is a losing game. So some of us spend a lot of time and energy on the outward appearance, like I said, but we're not working on what is happening on the inside. And that is the most important part of who you are. Yes, it's nice to look good because then you will attract somebody. But can you keep that person just based on how you look? Not really. Not really. Like, what would be the point of being in a relationship with someone who is basically like your roommate? Like, you're basically like fronting for the gram or for the book or whatever, right? So Coffee brought up the whole thing about suffering in silence. Honestly, like I said, I know a lot of us are in pain or have been in pain. And if we said we want the connection, but we don't even know how to connect to friends or family or whatever. And that's been one of my, to be perfectly honest, that's been one of my challenges, is that sometimes I feel like wary of people. Like I may feel like, okay, I'm not sure that this person is really has my best interest at heart. And sometimes they don't, and that's okay. But I think there are a lot more loving people out there in the world than they're not, right? So let me see what some of the, hey Winnie, what you doing on here? Hey girl. So Jay, hey Jay. She says, I think one issue in our community is that we don't really know what self-love is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Kenyatta, we recommend Gary Chapman's 5 Love Languages. I wonder, see, one of the things I want to have in the private group is I want to have a book club. I just need somebody in the private group to help me lead the book club, because I think that would be a great book for us to read. I read this years ago. I took the test. I had one relationship where my partner was like, okay, before we get into anything too deep, let's take the love languages, right? Let's see. Girl, yes, Kenyatta, go to community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. We're actually doing a half off. It is a paid group. And we do give you half off your first month. So if you are not sure it's the right fit for you, try it out for a month. You get your half off. And then if it doesn't work for you, that's cool. That's totally okay. We talk about a variety of things, but like I said, we try to make sure that there is an event every week where we can learn and grow together, right? So let's see here. Okay, Betty, I missed. So Shirley says, I'm not emotionally available since a breakup in November, and that is okay. There's actually nothing wrong with saying, I'm just not available right now. It would be a mistake to get into something with somebody knowing that you can't give them that emotional connection. You can't feed them. You can't nurture them with that emotional situation here. So Betty, you said I'm describing your situation. Yeah, I'm dealing with a situation and no one knows. Yeah. Girl, and I'm so sorry. You know, that's the thing that I feel for with a lot of Black women sometimes is we are struggling and we hide because it's easier to hide than to share with other people and say, hey, I need help. Hey, I have depression. Hey, I, lost someone who I care about. Or even that, guess what? I was in love with this person. This was my one true love. It didn't work out. And I'm still grieving the loss of that person. That is okay. But sometimes we don't feel like we have anyone who can listen to us, right? Yep, Kenyatta says it's energy, vibrations. People talk about vibes and don't really know what it is. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Billie Jean says, I've been told that I'm guarded and I try to be more open. It is a subconscious thing, Billie Jean. That's the thing folks don't say. That's why I say therapy is a great thing because, a lot of times we don't even recognize what we're doing. It is a programming. That is why it's so important. What you let into your mind, what you tell yourself. That's why it's so important how you grew up, because how you grew up and who taught you made a huge impact on who you are today. And who you are today doesn't mean that you will always be that way. You can undo any negative beliefs that you may have that says that people are going to hurt you. But it just takes a little bit more time. And unfortunately, sometimes it's just too much work and you just be tired sometimes. Like I tell my partner sometimes when we get into fights or whatever, sometimes I do a really good job and we use the tools that we have and we diffuse the tension in a easy way. But sometimes it's a lot of work and it don't work that way. Sometimes the work, that we did, sometimes it's just not easy. So we just kind of like fall into our old patterns and that's easy to do. That's why it's a pattern. It's easy, right? Girl, Sorrel says you need to join the group, girl, community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. Hey, Champ, again, check out, here we go. Let me give you the link here for those of you guys who are asking. We'd love to have you join our group. And I'll go ahead and share with you benefits as well. Again, so what you get as a member of our private group is you get access to ebooks on relationships. You get access to group coaching once a month with Coach McAllie. She's a spiritual life coach. She's an excellent coach. I've watched her in action. You get access to private interviews. Like last week, Friday, we had 3 sexologists come on to talk about decolonizing sexuality. It was a great conversation. They're like, let's do a part 2. We're going to do that. We're going to have a psychotherapist come on this Friday to talk about love addiction. And these are just things for members of the private group. These are what you get. Like these women are saying, we like what you're doing and we want to support you. This is how they're supporting. This is what they get in exchange for their support. So I've gone ahead and put the link out for those of you who want to join the private group. There it is. Let's see. So Rashida, she says, how about you find quality in yourself first? We tend to miss our blessings looking and judging instead of knowing us. Qualities like perfection, it's a perception. Perception differs from personal information and experiences. Absolutely. Kenyatta says there are 2 ways energy leaves your body: in love and trust, or fear and doubt. I like that. When it leaves in love and trust, the result is intimacy. You make the choice. Love it. And let's see here. Rashida. Yep. Kenyatta says negative situations are all lessons. We have to choose to learn or be negative. Yes, yes, yes. And here's the thing. I'm not saying, like, I've had several relationships that started out really great and then ended up really bad. And, I'm the kind of person who spends a lot of time in my head, but after I spent the time in my head, I have to go down to my emotions. I have to get into my heart. And so that's the missing connection for me, is that sometimes I spend so much time in my head that I don't spend as much time in my heart. And that's what my therapist tells me. She's like, girl, you need to stop thinking so much and start feeling more. Yep. Rashida says, we've got to be careful of how we define intimacy. Yes. Betty says she wants an engagement. I don't want to because I don't feel she's my one. I've told her, but she insists that she is the one. Girl, Betty, you already know what to do, my dear. If you feel like this person is not your one, then why would you make that commitment? That wouldn't be fair to her. It just wouldn't be fair. Hey, Katina, girl, it's good to see you. Before we wrap up, and I'm going to go over the 3 reasons again why we have a hard time finding quality women, I want to share this beautiful love story. So let me go ahead and find photos. So this is Tyombi and Liza. So I got connected with them 2 years ago when they were celebrating their 8th anniversary. Their anniversary is April 3rd. And so I thought I would go ahead and share, as they're about to celebrate their 10th anniversary. 10 years, y'all. See, I told you all. There are Black lesbian couples who are happy, who are in love, who still have a strong relationship over the years. And so they met years ago, seriously. So Liza met Tyombi when she was in a restaurant, y'all. She was in a restaurant with her grandmother. Liza saw her. Liza is the more aggressive woman. Liza saw Tyombi and said, oh, that woman is fine. But she was with her grandmother, so she didn't know what to say. She was like, okay, I guess I'm going to let this woman go. They ended up seeing each other again on a dating site. And then Liza was like, I'm not letting her go. Let me take her out. And literally, Liza was trying to take Tyombi to a fancy restaurant. And Tyombi was like, I just want to go to McDonald's. She was like, she really just wanted to do something simple. And that worked out for them. Tyombi said she just wanted to walk around and talk and get to know her. They went walking after they went to McDonald's. And, that's kind of how they got together. So let me tell you, I asked her, what is the secret to 10 years together? And Tyombi said, our secret to a long-lasting relationship is communication, understanding, love, and romance. She says she thinks communication is especially important because in relationships we get comfortable and start expecting our spouses to read our minds. So keeping open communication will save you lots of arguments and fights. She's absolutely right about that. She says we need to also understand that every day isn't going to be unicorns and rainbows. There will be very bad days. And sometimes you will have to hold each other without speaking words to get through those times. And then she says sometimes your relationship may lose its spark. So you have to keep that romance and love fire going and be spontaneous. She says, treat your spouse like the gift they are. I just thought their story was so cute. I just want to wish them again, happy 10th anniversary. Thank you for sharing your love with us. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks for keeping it real. Because sometimes we just, some folks just think it's just all roses and sunshine. It's like, no, that's just not how it works. That's not how life works in general. So Selena says, I need to hear this. I just got out of a relationship that was so draining. Everything that she liked about me in the beginning became negatives. Girl, that's how that works sometimes. For almost a year, she had me in limbo as she went back and forth with whether or not she wants a relationship. Girl, no, bye. She loves me today, doesn't want me tomorrow. That's not good at all. I drew away. Here she comes. Yeah. So that's not, I'm glad you ended that relationship, Selena, because you deserve to know where you are with a partner. All right. So I'm glad you ended that. And, like I said, sometimes it just takes time to find that person. Get yourself together, and you said that you lost yourself in the relationship, which happens at times. This is not, I'm not blaming you or pointing finger. We've all done that, where we get so wrapped up in this other person that we lose sense of who we are. We lose our own boundaries. So one of the things folks don't really understand is that, and I'm getting into a different topic here, is boundaries are really important in any healthy relationship, right? any healthy relationships. Let me just go ahead and, oh, that's my boss texting me. I need to get on the phone with my boss. But let me just give you, again, the 3 reasons why we have a hard time finding a quality woman. Let me just run through them really quickly. 1, we don't know what we want. You say one thing, but your actions say another. 2, we don't value ourselves. And valuing yourselves means making an investment in who you are, improving yourself in some way. If you know that you have an issue, an anger problem, or a low self-esteem problem, go get help for that. There are ways to help that. And some of us are just not emotionally available. We have a wall that's 10 feet tall. We know how to play the mental game. We know how to look a certain way to attract somebody. But overall, we want a heart-to-heart connection. And if you're not emotionally available, it's going to be very difficult to make that, it's going to be very difficult to find that quality woman that you want, because a quality woman wants it all. She wants a woman who's going to be open, who's going to be there, who's going to be nurturing, who's going to be honest, who is actually ready for a relationship, someone who's not playing games. And when you don't have these 3 things together, it can feel like you're playing games. Like Selena was sitting there talking about this woman going back and forth with her. That is someone who does not know what she wants. What it sounds like is that the person liked having the convenience of a relationship, but did not necessarily want the commitment. It's one thing to like having someone around. It's another thing to actually be committed to having that person around. All right, let's see here. Yeah. Oh my God, Champ, 14 years, girl, inbox me. I would absolutely love to share your love story on the page if you don't mind. And I would actually love to share your story. So give us your tips, because another thing we want to do in the group is we really want to have more couples come in and tell, their stories, their tips, because trust me, I have been in my relationship with my partner about 3.5 years. We're struggling just like everybody else. However, I can't speak to 14 years. That's something I just can't speak to. So I would love it if, more women who've been in a relationship for 10 years and up, would tell me, would talk to our members. What is the secret? What did y'all do? I've definitely spoken to a lot of women over the years, but I would love to hear more love stories, because folks like to act like Black lesbians can't have real relationships. I know a lot of women who do, who have great relationships, who are happy, who are committed, who found their soulmate. So that's me, ladies. Thank you so much for joining tonight. It was really great talking with you. I will be back on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If there is a particular topic that you'd like me to address, please let me know. Go ahead and comment below or inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Like I said, I'm just your friendly host. I'm just here to bring up topics, but it's really, I try to talk about things that you want to talk about. So tell me what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. All right, ladies. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And again, if you have a chance, please go ahead and share this video on your page, or tag a friend, or share it in a Facebook group or something like that. We'd really appreciate it. All right, beauties, have a wonderful night, and I will see you on Wednesday.